Good morning and welcome all to today's Chicago Financial Empowerment Summit, Building Wealth Today for Tomorrow. I'll be the host today for your master classes. My name is Jason Schraub and I am the National Vice President for Partnerships of Operation Hope and a proud resident of Chicago. Today we're going to be learning a lot. We are currently in a session on credit building for individuals and families that will be run by Blake Vitrone and Natalie Llorente. But after that, we'll also be talking about financial planning for small businesses. We'll be talking about wealth building through home ownership. We will have a special keynote luncheon with Chicago Treasurer Melissa Conyears-Ervin and Operation Hope CEO and Chairman John Hope Bryant. You will not want to miss that. And there will be a very big announcement that is made today at 12:30. Finally, we'll also have our masterclass on investing in the stock market and in empowering our youth. So stick around for an amazing day around financial empowerment, financial inclusion, and financial opportunity. Finally, please do make sure while you're on here to engage with the Whova app. This is where you can network with your fellow attendees who are here, and also to meet the exhibitors who are here, who are happy to talk about their areas around financial and economic opportunity. So if you have any questions or if you want to engage with our speakers today, please do use the chat function at the bottom of your screen. We have two experts who are on the line who are available to answer questions via chat or can pass it along to our hosts of the event today. So with that said, let's pass it over to Blake Vitrone and to Natalie Llorente to talk about today's topic from 9:30 to 10:25, credit building for individuals and families. Over to you.
Thanks, Jason, for that fine presentation. I'm Natalie Llorente. I am one of the financial well-being coaches out of the city of Chicago, and it will be a collaboration between my good friend and fellow host, Josh, today. So before we get started, I'll allow him to introduce himself. Josh. Oh, sorry, Blake.
So I am Blake. I am the co-host today. So let me just say, Chicago, I'm so excited to be here. Help financially empower the city I love. So my name is Blake Vitrone. My area of expertise is credit and money management. I know we all came here to learn today, so we encourage all questions in the chat. So without further ado, Natalie, please take it away. Let's learn something about credit.
Excellent. So let's get this started. So we're gonna go ahead and Cindy's screen sharing. Okay, we're gonna share the slides if I can. Okay, full screen, here we go. Okay, so we're here today to talk about credit and money management. First, though, we should probably talk a little bit about Operation Hope. So Operation Hope has been in existence. We're a nonprofit organization that's been in existence for over 28 years. And the majority of our impact comes from the people that we serve in the community. So as of today, 4.5 million people have received services, both youth and adults, empowering them with the knowledge that they need in order to make sound financial decisions. And what you'll notice is that about 72% of clients that work with coaches like Blake and I on a daily basis see an overall credit score improvement of about between 60, on average, 60 to 80 points within the first 6 months if they're diligent about getting their financial house in order. There's also other programs that you'll learn about throughout this talk. For example, we serve more than 1 million youth, both in the Chicagoland area and in other major cities, teaching them the basics of money management. So we'll get into that more as we move along. Excellent. So as I said, you will find a coach that can help you either with credit counseling, small business, or home ownership in every major city across the US, and even in some of the rural areas. So if you ever wanted to pass that information along or share with another, we have the 800 line to our customer service center, or you can always reach out to one of us at the end of the session. So Operation Hope has has begun a wonderful partnership with the Chicago Department of Treasury. So we're collaborating together to offer you these services and to bring the general knowledge to the public. So more to come on that. Okay, so credit and money management, which is one of the main houses or one of the main services that we offer within Operation Hope. And it's designated as a one-on-one service. So what you'll find is that there will be workshops either like this that will give you basic knowledge on credit or budgeting or savings or any of the three. But our main focus would be either to improve your credit score, to reduce your debt, or to increase your savings. How do we do that? Well, we would meet with you on a one-on-one basis and offer you those step-by-step things of what to do, creating an action plan, so that we take the mystery out of credit reports. We take the mystery out of budgeting. So you have someone always to back you up and to understand kind of more how the process works. All right, so who can tell me what are the main credit reporting agencies? As you see here, there are three major credit bureaus. Those are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, who of you can tell me how many credit reports you are allotted under a normal basis every year? How many, you as a consumer, how many credit reports can you request each year? Anyone in the chat? And Josh or Blake, you guys can chime in if there's any answers from them.
Yeah, so it looks like a lot of people getting the question right, which is one each year, completely free under normal circumstances. With the current COVID environment, though, you are allowed pretty much unlimited credit reports due to the current environment.
Yes, that's correct. So you guys are pretty savvy, but actually you are allotted one credit report every 7 days during COVID-19. So I highly or strongly recommend that you pull your credit report periodically. All right, so let's talk about the credit range. So obviously on here it says excellent credit is 730, but actually the range of credit falls anywhere from low 300 all the way to 800. Now, in my financial management background, I've really only seen an 800 score maybe a handful of times. So don't feel bad if you're not at the highest mark. For example, even if you're at a 670, or even if you're in 500s, or hey, maybe you don't know exactly where you stand right at the moment, there's always ways to improve your score. And if you're really an overachiever and looking to get that 800 score, we can talk about ways to set you up for success. So, okay, components of credit. Has anyone ever given some thought to what makes up your FICO score or your overall score? Maybe, maybe not. So let's talk about these. As you notice here, it's divided by three components. We have payment history being the largest, then total debt utilization, length of credit history, account diversity, and new credit. So let's begin with payment history. So payment history is 35% of your score. Can anyone take a guess or take a gab at maybe why it might be? Anyone wanna give a go at that one? Blake or Josh, any responses? Okay, we're gonna just talk about it. Let's talk about this together. So it's imperative that you make your payments on time, yes, but why do lenders even care about payment history? Well, it's relatable to the concept, past behavior predicts future behavior. So what lenders are really looking at are your financial habits, how you're using your money, and if you have the ability to repay. So it all speaks to your trustworthiness. Amounts owed, dun, 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 dun.
So Natalie, I believe we had a polling question last slide.
Yeah,
our first polling question is, do late payments on a co-sign loan hurt your credit score? So if you co-sign a loan and there's late payments on that loan as a co-signer. Does your credit score get hurt? And we'll take. And thank you, Josh, for putting the question right in the chat. Greatly appreciated. So we'll take a couple of seconds to let everyone answer that. But again, do late payments on a co-sign loan hurt my credit score? So yeah, we're getting some great answers here. And ladies and gentlemen, the answer is absolutely yes. When you co-sign on a loan, you take financial responsibility for that payment. So always think when you're co-signing, you're putting your credit on the line. So make sure you trust the person you co-sign for. Great job, guys. Natalie, feel free to take it away.
All right. So good job on the polling question. Thank you for adding that in, Blake. So amounts owed, this is the second category that's most important that compiles your credit score, and it accounts for 30%, which you can always, it's a good to factor in the rule of 30. So amounts owed are important because it has to do with a financial term that's called credit utilization. Now, the balances you carry affect you because if you're carrying high balances, it kind of disables your ability to take on more debt, and lenders won't be as willing to give you more. So what the rule of 30 or credit utilization means, I'll give you an example. So say, for example, Bank of America approves you tomorrow for a $1,000 credit card. At no given time, the recommended balance that you're going to keep or use, it shouldn't surpass $300. Why? Because $300 is 30% of the overall credit limit that they're allotting you. So always remember the rule of 30. And if you can keep your balances under 30%, then it will improve your overall score. Length of credit history. Okay, so length of credit history ties into our first portion, or the largest portion, which was payment history. So banks often consider how long you've been doing business with them as a mode for your credibility. So in terms of, like, if you're a client that's been with a bank for over 5 years and you approach, say, the branch manager or one of the lenders and say, hey, you know, I'd like to apply for this auto loan, or I'd like to apply for this new line of credit, versus someone that's just brand new, which they don't have any information on, or, you know, aren't established with the banking, the bank that they're approaching. The banker, I can tell you from experience, or the manager would be more inclined to help the person that's already an established customer with them. So the same holds true when it comes to credit history. The longer you've maintained an account with a creditor, the more it boosts your score. So it's never recommended to close out accounts right away. So that's why it's 15%. And moving right along, new credit. So new credit can affect your score because whenever you allow anyone access to your information, or to pull your credit file, your score does dip down just a touch, between 5 and 7%, if I'm not mistaken. So you always want to be certainly sure, if you're going after new credit, hey, say you're going to go apply for an automobile, you know, you're at the dealership, you want to be certainly sure that you're ready to make a deal with these people, or you're going to accept that credit card, so that it's not pulling your score down, because you wouldn't want multiple creditors requesting your information at the same time, because it will pull your score down each time. All right, now we're on to our final component, the types of credit in use. So types of credit in use account for 10%. And if there's a good way to remember this portion, it would be diversity. Okay, so there are 2 types. Revolving. Revolving have to do with your credit cards, home equity line of credit, any personal line of credit. Installment are generally your fixed payments, your mortgage, your student debt, your car note. So what lenders like to see are a healthy balance of the 2, not a gazillion credit cards, and not so much fixed debt that you're carrying. So when you have a healthy balance of the two, or quote unquote diversity, that's what lenders like to see. And now I will pass it over to Blake, who will explain more about credit and debit and cards.
Thank you, Natalie, for all that great information on credit. As you know, Operational is committed to making sure everyone makes smart and sound financial decisions. Now, going on to the next slide, a huge part of that is using electronic payments. Using cards instead of cash, it's safer, it's more convenient, but it also gives you greater control of your money. And we'll go into those benefits on the next slide. So I like to think of the 3 S's when we're talking about using electronic payments. First is safe. Cash is very easy to lose. We've all been there before. It could be stolen or it could be lost from someone you may know or may not know. Now let's compare that to a card, right? You lose your debit card. You can turn it off right with a click of a button on your phone. Also, banks and financial institutions have entire teams to keeping your money safe from fraud and theft. And if there is any fraud in your account, you can receive that money back. Now, the second is simple. Everyone accepts some type of card payments, whether it's mail, in person, or online. Additionally, a lot of banking apps have a pay a bill feature, right? And this allows you to better track your money. Every time you swipe that card, it pretty much immediately shows up right on your banking app. So this is particularly important because it allows you to budget. Right? When you're using cards, there's no reason to say, I don't know what I spent my money on. The job was already done for you. It's been tracked. And being able to track your expenses and being able to control your money is the first step in financial security. If you can't control your money or manage it, then your money's managing you, and you don't want that. So the third is smart. Cards and banks allow you to make smart financial decisions with ease. There's no more wasting time for check cashing fees or money orders to pay bills. Also, you can automate your savings goal. So one thing everyone should be here today is set a savings goal each month and then automate that. So just give an example. If your savings goal is $100 each month, and you get paid twice a month, each paycheck, $50 should be automatically going right to your savings account. And just moving on to the next slide. So now that you understand, the power of the cards, let's talk a little bit more about choosing the right one for you, right? Everyone's different. Cards may work better for other people. So let's go on to the next slide and we'll go through each card individually. So the first card is the prepaid card. Now, I think these cards are really great for rural areas that don't have a lot of local banking options. And the banking options you do have may charge high fees. And as a financially empowered consumer, we don't pay high banking fees, right? That's not for us. So you can use a prepaid card to avoid these fees. Also, with prepaid cards, one thing I love is that you will never go into debt. You can only spend the amount of money you have, and they're accepted pretty much everywhere a debit and a credit card is. Now, your second type of card is your debit card. When we think of debit, I want you to think of your bank account. They're connected, right? They're one and the same. A bank account offers you the safety and protection of your money from fraud and theft. And again, it allows you to pay your bills online with ease so you can just budget and manage your money better. Now, again, if a bank is charging you high fees, there's so many banking options available in this day and age. It's 2021. And if you need help finding the best checking account, Operation Hope's coaches are here to help to make sure you're using the best account for you. And lastly is credit. Now, personally, I use credit cards for all my transactions. And there's 2 really big reasons. First, the safety of credit cards. Credit card companies are very good at monitoring fraud, and they're very good at getting the money back that was illegally charged to your account. And secondly is the rewards. As credit cards offer great rewards, even if you get 1% cash back on your purchases, that's 1% you could use to buy a home, 1% you could use to finance a car, to fix your credit. So it's the small changes that really add up. And we can go on to the next slide and we'll show an example of, the power of these cards. So let's say you're a consumer, you're using just cash and you're using check services. As you already know, it's going to cost you about $29 to $78 to get cash for that check. So you just put in a 40-hour work week, and now just to use your money, you have to pay someone, which is ridiculous. And every single time you use that money, or every time you need to pay a bill, you need to get a money order, which is another $1 to $4. And statistics are showing that consumers are spending $35 to $96 extra each month just to use their own money. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking, Blake, what is $35 to $100 going to do for me each month? And my answer to you is it will change everything. Guys, finances don't change from some monumental event like winning the lottery or getting a huge raise. They change from making small changes, from saving an extra $35 a month. So if you're really looking to get a home, improve your credit, and just add financial stability to you and your family lives, it comes with small changes. So wonderful. We have establishing and rebuilding credit. And I will be very, very clear. If you're in the process of establishing and rebuilding credit, you should be enrolling to one-on-one coaching. Like Natalie said, why are you trying to guess how to build your credit? Operation Hope has been doing it for 30 years. And this is what we specialize in. So sit down, look over your credit report. We can tell you how to settle accounts, how to open a secured credit card. And so one polling question we have today, guys, and it's really important to review your credit report. So this is a true or false. 1 in 4 credit reports reflect an error. Is that true or false? Wow, I'm actually blown away. Most people here are saying true, which is absolutely true, guys. This is why you need to be sitting down and reviewing your credit report. If you don't know how to review your credit report, sit down with Operation Hope. We'll do it for you, and we'll teach you how to do that. But if you're not reviewing your credit report, you're just opening yourself up to fraud and mistakes on the credit report, and it really can impact your ability to get credit. Now, moving on to the next slide. Wonderful. So guys, the one thing I love about credit, it's the one or few things in life where you get a clean slate. Every 7 years, your credit report pretty much starts over. So don't ever give up on building credit. Don't ever give up on it, because as time moves on, the negative stuff doesn't count as much, and you can continuously build your credit. So everyone gets a clean slate about every 7 years. Even if you file bankruptcy, depending on which one, it could be 7 to 10 years, but we all get a clean slate with credit. And this time you can learn from your mistakes and do it right by working with Operation Hope. Okay, on to the next slide, please. So we do have another polling question, and if you guys get this right, I'll be excited. So the next question is can credit card companies raise interest rates for on-time payments? So can credit card companies raise interest rates for on-time payments? Couple more seconds and we'll see a lot of great answers in the chat. So it looks pretty mixed between yes and no. Ladies and gentlemen, the answer is absolutely yes. Credit card companies, not only can they raise your interest rates, even if your payment on time, they can lower your credit limit. They control that line of credit, right? One thing I do want to make clear, though, is they do have to give you a 45-day notice before they raise your interest rates. But just make sure, guys, listen, it's their line of credit. They can do with it what they want. And this is just another reason you should be looking over your credit report to see if there's any changes. Now, knowing your rights as a consumer is so important because there's some bad actors out there, right? So knowing your rights, and most importantly to me, is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. In my line of work, this law has been monumental into giving people back their financial dignity. Guys, credit debt collectors can't harass you. They can't call you at weird hours. They have to be polite and respectful. They cannot lie to you. So if you feel a debt collector was rude to you, inappropriate, did something illegal, look at the Fair Debt Collection Protections Act or call Operation Hope, enroll into one-on-one counseling, and we'll make sure we'll deal with that debt collector. So on to the next slide, please. So just another little bit about Operation Hope. We use a community uplift model. So we're in the banks, we're with the Treasury office, we're with nonprofits. So we try to uplift entire communities out of poverty. So we want everyone in the community to have a 700 plus credit score, not just one or two individuals, entire communities of entrepreneurs, people with high credit scores. So again, we're in it for the entire community. And next slide, please. So disaster preparedness and recovery. So guys, I am so proud to share with you Operation Hope and Operation Hope's Coalition America, which is Operation Hope's Disaster Financial and Preparedness Division. On to the next slide, please. Just to show you the Hope Coalition America and the work we've done. Since 2001, we have responded to over 110 federally declared disasters. We've served over 1.2 million people in their effort to reclaim their financial dignity after being devastated by a monumental disaster. Now, myself and so many Operation Hope coaches have worked with so many disaster clients, and they have truly inspired me. I have worked with clients who were living in shelters with their family, and through one-on-one coaching, we have turned them into homeowners. We've turned them into small business owners. So they are inspiration to me. If they can do it, there's no excuse for anybody else. Now, while it's great turning their finances around, if we can move on to the next slide, please. It's great turning your finances around after a disaster. But every single person says to me, Blake, I wish I would have talked to you 2 years ago. I would have been prepared. But guys, don't let a disaster catch you off guard. Go to dfrscore.org. Look how prepared you are for disaster and get that advice you need. You don't want to be caught off by a huge disaster. And going on to the next slide, just to give you the services that we provide to our disaster clients. Anything from applying for FEMA aid, applying for insurance claims, creating a disaster recovery budget. I've negotiated with landlords on behalf of clients. I've worked with creditors on behalf of clients. I've prevented foreclosures. So no matter what you need, and if you know someone who's been affected by a disaster, tell them to call Operation Hope. We can really turn lives around. You can go ahead and move on to the next slide. So VITA. So like I said, guys, Operation Hope is here to make sure you make smart and sound financial decisions. So if you're a low to moderate income individual and you're not filing your taxes, you're leaving money on the table. And we don't accept that at Operation Hope. When there's money on the table, we want our consumers to take it. So if you're intimidated about taxes, if you don't know what to do, if you're not sure where to go, look up the Voluntary Income Tax Assistant Program, and they're here to help. They're here to answer your questions and guide you through prepping your taxes, and it's all for free. And we can go on to the next slide. One of the most powerful things we do at Operation Hope is make sure our clients are getting their earned income tax credit. This is one of the greatest things, greatest tax benefit for working class people. If you're a low to moderate income household or individual, you should be asking VITA about EITC. And if we go on to the next slide, we can show you some real numbers, right? This isn't a couple of dollars. Just to give you an example, if you're a family with 2 children and you're making under $52,000 each year, you could have gotten an extra $6,000 back from the government. If you're an individual with 3 children or more making under $50,000, you could have got $6,500 back from the government. Like I said, Operation Hope is here to make sure that you get all the money on the table and making sound financial decisions. And we can go on to the next slide. Guys, what comes next? You know, what do I do next? And their answer is sit down with Operation Hope, review your credit report, get a plan together. I don't want to burst anyone's bubbles here, but money isn't going anywhere. It has been here since the beginning of humans, and it will be here to the very end. The only thing that's going to change is your ability to manage it, because it's going to be here for the rest of your lives. So I challenge you, pick up the phone, email Operation Hope, and start getting a plan together. So time permitted, we definitely want to answer some of your questions in the chat. So one question I had is, can we assist clients in Michigan? As Operation Hope is a national-wide organization. Plus, with this virtual environment, we can reach you. So we can reach you from the safety of your home. We can give you that advice. So yes, we even have offices in Puerto Rico. So no matter where you are in the United States, we can definitely help you. So we have another great question. If a credit grantor closes your account for some reason versus you closing your account yourself, will that affect your score? Closing accounts does affect your score. Absolutely. So let's give an example. And the greatest thing it affects is your utilization. So you have 2 credit cards. Both have a $500 limit. So the most you can borrow on credit cards is $1,000. Now let's say you have your $300 in debt on one credit card. The other credit card closes. So now you're using $300 out of $500 of your utilization, which is very high, very above the 30%. Now, when that other card was open before it was closed, you were only using 30%. So when that credit line is closed, it hurts your utilization because you have less available credit. And again, that's 30% of your score. So that's why we try to prevent the closure of cards. And it also affects your credit history as well. So I see another question. What about using debit card as credit? So I hear this a lot, but there's sometimes confusion when you go swipe your debit card. You see it either says debit or credit. If you hit credit, if you use your debit card, it's still going to be a debit transaction. So even if you hit the button credit, it matters what card you swiped. So if you swiped your debit card, that is the card connected to your bank account. You're using your own money. You're not borrowing from a credit card. But I hear that a lot. That can be a common misconception. So whatever card you use, that's where the money is going to come from. And thank you all for the amazing questions. Please keep it up, keep it going. So does paying off auto loans early help you? Another great question. So help you with regards to your credit, what it does do is add, of course, an account that you paid in full, as long as there's no missed payments on it. So that will help. It's not going to necessarily help your credit, but it is going to help you, eliminate a monthly payment each month, right? So instead of next month having another car payment, now you can start putting that money towards your mortgage or paying down another card. So by paying down loans earlier, it gives you more options to maybe pay down other debt or start saving towards that mortgage. So I just had another great question. How can you talk a little bit more about the Volunteer Income Tax Tax Assistant Program? So you really just want to go to the VITA website, the IRS Treasury. Just Google VITA or Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. They're the tax professional guys. They are rock stars at what they do. So if you're looking for credit, money management, homeownership, small business, come to Operation Hope. If you're looking for questions on your taxes, I think VITA will be able to help and just answer your questions more directly. So great question. How can I improve my credit right now? And that's really hard to answer without looking at your credit report, right? So the greatest thing you can do for your credit is make a one-on-one coaching session with Operation Hope, so we can tell you how you can improve your credit right now. So that's my answer to that. Is it bad to use a credit repair company? I love this question. Wouldn't say it's bad, but it's definitely a waste of money. There's nothing you can't do that a credit repair company can do, right? We at Operation Hope, we have the letters they send out. They're not doing anything special, credit repair companies. There's nothing that you can't do that they say they can do. So learn how to do it yourself, save yourself some money, put that money in your savings account, and, buy a home, pay down debt. But just let us teach you how to do it. You won't need a credit repair company.
Hey, Blake, are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry for that. Thank you so much for stepping in for us. I think to add to what Blake was saying is that oftentimes be very careful with those credit repair companies, because I have had clients who've been paying $100 a month and nothing was really done. A lot of those disputes that you can enter are free of charge, and they're basically taking your money and not finalizing things. So I'd be very leery about accepting that. As Blake was telling you all, we do offer free credit counseling services to anyone that's interested. So you can always connect with us. I believe we had the slides up just a moment ago, or get in touch with the Treasury Department, and there will be a coach ready and willing to assist you with that. I think we help anyone, a broad span, anyone that has collections, judgments, student debt, no matter your situation, even though it might feel impossible or there's no way to fix it. No, there's a way to fix it. Just come to us and we can help you. All information is kept confidential, and you're under no obligation. Whether we meet with you 1 time or 10 times, our objective is just to help get that credit score up and see you doing better, and probably move you to either one of our other coaches in small business or home ownership. Let's see, we got some other questions in the chat here. Let's see.
Just to touch on that, do we help people in collections? That is my favorite part. I deal with debt collectors every day. I mean, they're easy to deal with, and we make sure clients have all the right information. So if you have a problem with collections, please call me. That's my bread and butter. I love helping there.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please take it over. I'm just reading some questions in the chat here.
I was just going to say, the rule of 30 is if it's a new concept to you, or if you wanted to meet with a coach one-on-one so that we can explain more in depth, we're willing to do so. So even if you have a mortgage or say a student loan, keep in mind, okay, so the bank has lent to you $13,000 for your automobile loan. And then you have your overall credit cards, which maybe amount to what? $1,500, between $5,000. So it takes into account the full balance, your automobile loan, which is $13,000, together with the other limits that you have on your credit cards. So if you're having difficulty grasping the rule of 30 or just want to know more about it, you can always reach out to us. And sometimes we're just taking a look at the chat here. Great. I'm going to set up. Yes, please call us. We're here to help you. If you have an older account and begin to make payment, will that affect your credit score? Older accounts, so there is a statute of limitations on older accounts, especially for the state of Illinois. Anything you sign can be collected up to 10, I believe it's 10 years if I'm not mistaken. So if you're making a payment on something, or if it's something that's old in collections, I always advise clients to ask for verification first, to verify the debt, because you are entitled to even your old statements before you go ahead and make payments. Because say, for example, you have a more pressing payment that you should probably pay first. It's all about categorizing and then like divide and conquer, prioritizing your debt. Let's see, I think we have another question in the Q&A. This was attaining legitimate business trade lines. So regarding small businesses, we do have small business coaches that do just that. Customarily, we help businesses that are either just launching or, kind of in between that growth. So if you wanted more direction on that, we can always connect you with one of our fellow coaches that handle small business. I believe that was a question in the Q&A. Let's see, what else do
So
we
I
have?
see one question is, how many credit cards should I have? So there's no magical number. I like to say try to have about 3 or 4 open. What's more important, guys, is try to keep your debt all in one place. So 3 or 4 cards, 3 of those cards make a very small monthly occurring payment, like $5 to $10, pay it off. You should have one credit card that you use all the time. Consider it your credit card. But the worst thing you can do is keep high balances on several cards, because it just makes it harder to pay off debt, right? It's harder to pay 5, 6 bills a month than just paying one each month. So try to have 3 to 4 cards open, but figure out one card you really love and you use, and try to keep all your debt in one place.
Let's see. So with Operation Hope, I guess we don't want to make a misconception. So as coaches, we don't necessarily just do it for you. We teach you how to do it, and we back you up in what to do. So it's really, hand in hand. Like there's a level of accountability. So as it's your credit and it's your financial house, so you have to take ownership of that. And we help you by giving you the steps, or even, if you're not sure what to say when you approach creditors, we can walk you through it. But it's not like a case in point where you just hand it over to us and we fix everything. I wish we were magicians, but unfortunately, we need your collaboration in order to make it happen, in order to get it done. Let's see. Interested in credit building as well as first. Yeah, anyone that's interested in the multiple services that Operation Hope offers, you're more than welcome to sign up for more than one program. But yeah, we have many clients. I have many clients that have started with me and then crossed over to home ownership or small business. So yes, you can sign up for all 3 if you're ready.
And I like to point on that credit and money management is really the baseline, where you can start off. Because, right, the first thing they're going to ask you in home ownership is, what's your credit score, right? It's probably the most important thing. And then another thing in small business, they're going to ask, what's your credit? What's your ability to get credit? So I always advise start in credit money management, get the building blocks down, and then you can really propel yourself forward from there.
So we don't delve too deeply in the investing side. We do have general knowledge, but for more specifics, like say, for example, it was even like a legality or inheritance or something of that sort, we would provide you with 3 different non-partial or non-bias people. Like, for example, if it's for general inheritance, I would probably send you to someone that handles estate planning or a lawyer of some sorts, and I'd give you 3 different options that I'm not partial to. So the same holds true with investments. If you're looking for a financial advisor, we can give you kind of the questions you might need to ask a potential financial advisor, or basic knowledge. But other than that, we would direct you to someone else that's more that has that depth or the thing that you're looking for. Let's see.
So we saw one question: how do I sign up? Guys, go on operationhope.org, find the location in your area. You can email me or Natalie. But again, operationhope.org, our website, you can find all the contact information and all the offices located near you. And if there's not one near you, like I said, we're in a virtual environment. We cover the entire country.
Yeah. So don't be intimidated. We're here to help. And for anyone that's still worried about their collections or their student debt, just meet with a coach and we'll take a look at your individual picture, because everyone's situation is a little bit different. So don't feel intimidated. Yeah.
Guys, listen, we're all human. I have credit card debt. Surprise, surprise. Everyone does. We're all humans here. I got student loans. So we're all managing money. We're all in this together. Money surrounds our lives. So, do yourself a favor and start learning more how to manage it better.
Mhm. So it's been a great pleasure to present to you all today, and we're happy to connect with you. We're looking forward to a really great partnership with the Chicago Treasury Department. So even if you weren't able to catch everything on the slide, I believe that this program will be recorded and you can listen to it afterwards through the Treasury Department.
Well, thank you, Natalie, and thank you, Blake. Our next session will be beginning at 10:30, and that is on financial planning for small businesses. Here's where we're going to have not just Operation Hope coaches who are focused on entrepreneurship, but also we'll have a representative from Fifth Third Bank if we want to talk about questions of capital and capital access. And we will have a successful entrepreneur, Adrienne Mack of Miss Mack Enterprises. So in the meantime, please do feel free to stay on here and continue to chat questions to our panelists, or step on over to the Whova app where you can go to look at the exhibitors and have conversations with those who are a part of the event, or to network with the other panelists who are here. This wraps up the 9:30 a.m. session on building credit, and we will see you again. Thank you.